in Australia. I have lived in America as well. I lived in New York City for 6 months and did a year in Toronto as well. So, there's a few things about the US that I miss. And I have been to Hawaii once as well, which I'll share with you a little bit as well. I co-authored this book with a beautiful woman by the name of Vanessa Jean. So she's joining us as well tonight, and I'll allow her to introduce herself.
Hey, thank you all so much. So firstly, as you may be able to hear, I am very, very congested. Thank goodness for the oils. I'm here and talking. A day ago, I had no voice. So thank you so much for hosting us. Thanks for having me here. I grew up on the land, and I have an Italian and Maltese background. So the land and Mama Gaia specifically, Mother Nature, and her gifts are my heart song. So I love working with her in terms of food and food magic and alchemy. My connection with the plant kingdom and animals runs really deep throughout all of my ancestry, and just listening to the gifts, the treasures that she sends us. So be that in the form of cacao, essential oils, a little bee playing on my, the flowers of my basil, it all enthralls me. I am a clinical aromatherapist. So I love bringing the world of science and the metaphysical to a place where they can dance together. I'm really passionate about this. And I love that in our book, Adam and I have just kind of let ourselves go. We've let ourselves just reveal to you all what we feel when we connect. So having said that, I want you to know something up front. We're not right. We don't have all the answers. Don't think that just because it's in our book that's the be all and end all. This is a perspective, a sweet perspective from us. So we hope that as you journey with gifts of the essential oils, she becomes a book of treasures for you to turn to. Something that you can open and use like an oracle, or that you can turn to and be inspired for blends, or some of those complementary dancing modalities that Adam mentioned earlier. We talk about the plants as plants, not just as essential oils. We're really passionate about connecting you with the spirit of the plants, with their voice and what they want to share with us all. So take it away, Adam. We're going to enjoy this with you all. Let it be interactive. Use the chat and let's have lots of fun.
Yeah, so just a bit of logistics as well. We love the chat we want this to be as interactive as possible. We've got some things we really want to share with you today, but we love going off on tangents and answering questions and so on. So to get everyone's fingers warmed up, I'd love to know just where you're tuning in from. Well, as I said, most of you will be somewhere in Hawaii, but is there anyone in the mainland, or have we got any other countries as well? Let us know in the chat. And if any questions come up at any time, please answer them. And we'll be asking questions of you as well. Lots in Maui, Honolulu. Awesome. Perfect. Keep them coming on. I'll keep them in. Just got a bit of a slideshow.
Makes us want to go back to Hawaii, right, Adam?
Exactly. We'll get there. And we'll come teach the live classes next time. I'll just put up a bit of a slideshow to get started, just to introduce you to a few different ideas. So, as Eliza said at the start, what we're going to share with you today is based on a book that Vanessa and I wrote a couple of years ago. This book is a bit of a guide through working with over 100 different essential oils. One of the key lessons that we really kind of share in this book, and that we want to share with you today, is when you understand the plant, what you'll really discover is, who's ever watched a movie on someone's life, or they've watched read an autobiography, and they're like, now I understand why that person, made those decisions in their life or acted in that way. It's the same with the oils. When you look at the way that they grow, where they grow, how they grow, the colors of the fruit, the colors of the flower, and so on, that will really help to give you a different perspective on all the different ways that the oils are gifted to us. So what you can see here is a bit of a double-page spread of what's actually on the book. So we explore each oil, over 100, as I said before, on a double-page spread. On the left-hand side, we start off by just looking at a bit of the botanical origins about that plant. So where does this plant grow? How has it been used? We know how much people love the emotional aspect of the oils. And so we thoroughly dive through that throughout the entire book. At the back is a really thorough index. So if you're looking for what oils are best to help you, if you're experiencing anger or grief or jealousy, or you want to move more to feeling more inspired or joyous or whatever, you'll be able to know which oils can best help you with that, and then read the chapter on how to work with that oil on a practical level as well. Now, in the past, obviously, our generations gone lived a lot more in harmony with the land. They relied on agriculture for all their food. There was a lot of farming, plus their only form of medicine was plant medicine. So we see, all around the world, these stories of the people that lived off the land and their stories about the plants and how they came to be and their origins and their uses. And so we look a lot at these different origin stories to get us a better idea of understanding the plant and thus the oil as well. People have been using plants for thousands of years to bring more love into their life, to bring more abundance, to create energetic protection. And we cover that throughout our work as well. I love working with the chakras, as I mentioned before, crystals, and Vanessa is a whiz in the kitchen, so there's lots of food magic in there as well. The other thing you'll find on the top of each page is 3 anchoring words, and we call these the anchoring words or the key theme. So what you may find is if you're just starting to get to know a new oil, then you don't need to, the whole chapter will help. But if you need to summarize it, those 3 words will really help. So with Arbor Vitae, the 3 anchoring words are standing strong, repelling, and divine assistance. So that gives you an idea of exactly where Arbor Vitae kind of helps you out. The other thing you'll notice as well, that many books will refer to each oil as the oil of love or the oil of hope or the oil of compassion or whatever that may be. Vanessa and I truly believe that these oils are gifted to us to help us along our path. They're a gift from the plant kingdom. So rather than just calling it the oil of, we've rephrased that. And so what you'll find on the left-hand page in big, bold, colorful writing is my gift to you is. So here, for example, is helichrysum. And helichrysum is about healing your wounds. Now, herein lies an actual kind of one lesson of how to understand what a plant does metaphysically. Is often what it does for the body, it will do for the higher levels as well. So we know that helichrysum is amazing for, helping with cuts or bruises or any type of wounding or surgery or that type of thing. However, helichrysum is also absolutely amazing for helping to heal emotional wounds. So anytime there is emotional wounding, helichrysum is great for that as well. Vanessa.
So what we found, thanks, honey. What we found is we dove deeper with our connection with the plants, and specifically the different parts of the plants that were gifting us essential oils, was we found a practice arising, a devotional, a ritual, some sort of way to celebrate life. So we called this quite simply a practice. This is where you can take the oils and put them in action. Sometimes they're gentle meditations, they're a walk outside. Sometimes they'll feel very magical, like you're Harry Potter about to wave your wand and cast a spell. All in all, they're very simple. And we hope that there'll be a way for you to embrace using these essential oils in new ways. Now, that practice can be aligned with the essential oil. So in this case, peppermint, and you can create an anchor, an aromatic anchor to a certain time of the year, for instance, with the practice. Then you can take that essential oil and you can create a powerful aromatic anchor with the affirmation. This is your connection point to maybe an aspect within yourself that you want to heal, maybe with an intention that you're summoning, some sort of manifestation you're wanting to bring to fruition. And you can anchor, for instance, in this case, I choose to live life joyously this day with the beautiful wild orange. In addition to this, we have beautiful master blends. So it's a 2-page spread, as you can see. And on the right-hand side, we have 3 key master blends. The master blends have a little description about them so that you can deepen again, and it gives you a lot more knowledge as well with what's happening with that particular essential oil and what happens when you create synergistic blends. Synergistic blends means you're bringing different essential oils together and they shine a light on each other, they'll magnify each other, they'll bring the best out in each other. They create a blend and give you a gift that the single oil won't necessarily do. So they're powerful, they're potent, they're purposeful. This is where you feel alchemy in motion. You'll notice that we don't have any numbers of drops here. And there's a reason for this. We honestly know and believe that you are empowered sovereign beings. Everyone has a different connection with their scent. Everyone has a feeling within them each day, if they tune in, as to what they want more of and what they want less of. So for instance, if you wanted to create one of the blends that we have, you take the essential oils that we've mentioned and you just take the lids off and hold them at an even level. And then just hold them under your nose and take a deep breath. I've got the lid on and I can smell the easy air and peppermint coming through this with the lids off. And you just smell them. And what you're going to do is you're going to elevate the ones you want more of, and what you want less of, bring down. So you'll end up with like a stairway to your nasal cavity. Yeah. And then just take another smell, feel whether that feels right or not, and then away you go. So in an aromatic dressing, do you all know what aromatic dressing is? It's the art of placing the essential oils on your body. So very quickly, you take a bowl and your fractionated coconut oil or carrier oil of choice, and you're just going to put a couple of squirts of your carrier oil in the bowl, about 10 mils. And then you're going to place your chosen blend of essential oils, or if it's just one essential oil you want to use, that's fine as well, in that bowl with the carrier oil. So let's say in this case, what I have here, because this is just supporting me right now, I have lemon, easy air, and peppermint. So I might do 2 drops of peppermint, 3 of lemon, and 1 of easy air, because easy air packs a punch anyway, right? So many oils in that blend. So then I'm just going to gently mix it with my hand. And after a shower or bath, I'm going to dip and rub a dub it all over my body. I'm going to start from the bottom of my legs and move my way up my body toward the heart. This is fantastic for your lymphatic system, for your immune system, for your moods, for your emotions. And the affirmation that we had up earlier can be something you repeat as you do this. Or maybe there's a sentence in the description on the master blend that you loved that you want to pull out and say as your aromatic dressing. So I basically choose a blend that gives me what I need for the morning. So that could be awakened insight, and then something for the evening. Maybe I'll go for a sleep blend in a petitgrain blend or a vetiver blend or lavender blend. Yeah. You can also place these beautiful master blends in a roller bottle like this, or in a spritzer bottle. And of course you can diffuse them as well. And same principle, you're just going to put the number of drops as to what you feel. For diffusing, you can obviously put a lot more drops in when it's an open space. And when it's a smaller bedroom, just less drops, yeah? Just like you do any other time. All righty, I hope that's clear. Just pop any questions in the chat.
Right, so we're going to take you on a bit of a journey today. What you'll notice in our book and how we like to teach as well is we haven't just got the oils from A to Z. Now, you may have heard of the magical elements before, and I think most of us have heard of them probably when it comes to our zodiac sign. We're either a fire, an air, an earth, or a water sign. Now, what we found is you can also categorize the oils in this way. We didn't go around and ask the trees and the plants when their birthday was. What we looked at is we looked at where on the plant the oil comes from, and we started to notice these trends and how they fit in really well with the magical elements. So today we're going to journey through that with you. So I'd love to ask you, first of all, we're going to start with the element of earth. What words come to mind for you when you think of the element of earth? Not the whole planet, just a bit of dirt beneath your feet. Pop that in the chat for us. Now, it could be just dirt or soil. It could even be the earth signs of Taurus, Virgo. Yeah, dirt, beautiful. It's all grounding. What kind of energy does the element of earth have for you? Foundation, I love that one, Naomi. Beautiful. So what we found is any oil that is gifted to us from the wood, the bark, or the roots seems to have these earthly qualities. And you can see here there's a list of the different oils. Many of them you'll recognize from doTERRA singles or their blends and so on. These are all absolutely amazing kind of for really kind of helping us to anchor in that type of way. And you'll see there, we've got like, the good old now wood, which is native in Hawaii as well. We have a chapter on that. So once you kind of get to understand each of the wood oils a little bit more, you'll see that they're all grounding and empowering. But if we understand the plant, you can see where they give us that grounding in our life. So to demonstrate that, let me kind of illustrate by talking about, let's do arbor vitae, cedarwood, and then we'll talk about good old sandalwood as well. So first of all, arbor vitae. Arbor vitae, we have this massive tree that has the oil so thick and dense inside its core that nothing will eat into it. No insects bore in, it won't rot. Even when it falls over at the end of its life, it continues to, just sit there because nothing will break it down. So does anyone ever have those days where they feel like they can't get a moment to themselves, where everyone is bugging them, where every time they try and do something, they get an interruption, and you're like, oh! If that happens to you, that is a perfect time to reach for arbor vitae. Now, at the end of the month, for example, we have Mercury retrograde happening. And I love arbor vitae when Mercury is in retrograde because everyone gets a little bit wacky around that time, and it just helps you kind of focus on what you need to do. Arbor vitae grows straight up, tall and strong towards the heavens, and it helps you connect with what you're here to do and making sure that people aren't eating at you or bugging you or rotting you in some way or another. Then we come over to cedarwood. Again, very large tree, big roots in the ground. But the interesting thing about this one is instead of kind of growing directly upwards like the arbor vitae does, cedarwood does have these big branches that go out, that stretch quite out far. Cedarwood has also been traditionally used in North America and throughout Europe because the trees get so big, their lumber and their wood are used to build community buildings, such as halls and churches and so on. So again, there's this kind of energy around community. Cedarwood really helps you when you need to feel strong and almighty and I guess empowered when you're stepping out into the community. Does anyone ever feel when they're in a group that they can kind of get a bit overwhelmed and they don't kind of speak up, or they kind of, even for empaths, cedarwood can be really good for that. Cedarwood has a strong connection to the sun and is actually celebrated around the summer solstice. And so what it helps you to do is it helps you remain grounded in your community, but also to shine your light. So you don't dim your light around other people, that you know and find ways to speak up. And I think that's really great, especially with COVID. And, a lot of us have been in lockdown for a long time, and now we're going back out into the community and we're like, oh, can I come close? Can I hug you? What can I do? And this just helps to give you a bit more confidence. So it's really great. And I know doTERRA had that as a product of the month a couple of months ago. I thought that was perfect timing. So then we have good old sandalwood. And Vanessa and I, we actually got to come along to Hawaii, where not sure if everyone's aware of this or not, but doTERRA has actually bought a massive farmland, and which used to be native forest. And they have committed to reforesting that, bringing it back to its original way and planting a whole bunch of sandalwood trees, Hawaiian sandalwood trees. Now, the interesting thing is that we learned is you can't just kind of plant sandalwood. What you had to do is we had to plant it next to a koa tree or another native tree. And as the sandalwood would grow, its root system reaches out and holds on to that koa roots and relies on that for different nutrients such as nitrogen and so on. So sandalwood gives us strength, but it also gives us strength to reach out to people and get what we need. Sandalwood actually has a chemical constituent which is very close to the chemical composition of a male pheromone. So men wearing sandalwood actually can help to attract people into their lives on a physical level, but metaphysically, we can all use it to help us reach out, feel comfortable, realizing that there are people in our lives that we need, and to form those strong connections and to have that connection and to have our needs fulfilled. So each of these oils, in one way or another, whether it be arbor vitae, giving you the strength to focus on what you're here to do and not get distracted or bugged too much by other people. You've got cedarwood, which helps you to stand tall and strong and shine your light out in the community. And you've got sandalwood, who allows you to form healthy, beneficial relationships and reach out and ask for help for what you need in this world as well. So each of these wheels will help give you a bit of strength. I'll hand over to Vanessa to talk a little bit more about the roots and the barks.
Adam, take a look at the name for sandalwood in Hawaiian. Hawaiian.
Is it
oh
the
my God, my nose is so blocked.
Kelakua? Is it that one?
No, that's
Or
the
underneath
land
the-
we went to.
It's
okay, got you.
Iliahi is the
Ilihahi.
Iliahi.
Iliahi.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Thank you. I'll have to memorize that.
So beautiful. It's a very
Yeah,
pretty
wow.
name. I prefer it. Okay. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Okay, so we also have in the earth element, aside from our beautiful trees and the essential oil that comes from the heartwood of these gorgeous trees, we have the roots, which I'm also going to teach you about. Within the roots, there's the rhizome energy. Everyone tends to kind of gather that together. And then the barks. So the roots are vetiver and spikenard. The rhizomes, turmeric and ginger. And then the barks, cassia and cinnamon bark. So the roots and the rhizomes, this is where you get that real feeling of grounded connection when you're working with that earth element, yeah? So the roots ground us, the rhizomes anchor us. The roots, their roots go straight down, searching for that nourishment, searching for that holding point to stay connected always to the earth and her nurturing and her nutrition and her wisdom, yeah? So the spikenard and the vetiver are connecting us with earth wisdom, with deeper connection with the earth, with Mama Gaia, yeah? So as we work with them, we tend to feel calmer. We tend to be able to come into a deeper place of stillness. So we tend to use them for sleep, for meditation, for slowing down the mind, for adults and children who feel like their mind is constantly going and on the go, and they just need to slow down to be able to focus or to complete something. These two gifts from Mama Gaia are ideal. They're absolutely beautiful. And of course, they can be used in anointing practices. So I think a lot of us know that we can anoint vetiver on the tip of our big toe and massage our big toe with the vetiver, because that's the head in reflexology, right? So it slows the mind down while connecting us, helping to ground and earth us. Yeah. The spikenard can be used in beautiful rituals of initiation, of young girls who are coming into their menarche, their moon bleed. Yeah, menarche is this huge, amazing time from childhood, coming into being a young lady, to being a woman and a mother, to being a crone and becoming perimenopausal and menopausal. Yeah, so we need these initiations, and spikenard is beautiful for that. Often paired with rose. I love the two of those together for those kind of blood rituals. Washing your feet with spikenard for yourself, for a beloved sister, or just a beloved, someone going through a huge transformative time, is a beautiful practice as well. Spikenard, a lot of you may know that, this was the oil that was used. It was very sacred. It's very expensive, always expensive in ancient times. It was used to bathe the feet of Jesus and anoint the feet of Jesus before he was crucified. Yeah, so this is these roots, though they ground and earth us, they're beautiful for ascension practices. For when you feel like you just want to connect more deeply with that. The heavenly wisdom, the divine wisdom isn't outside of us, is it? It's within us. But sometimes it's just symbolic for us to kind of think about, connecting heaven and earth and bringing that wisdom here. And the roots do that beautifully. The rhizomes, ginger and turmeric, are warming, they're heating. So great for someone like me right now, whose immune system's a little compromised, whose emotional realms just had a bit of a battering, They bring in this beautiful ray of abundance. They bring in the golden ray, which is the divine ray. They bring us to a deeper connection with abundant energies. So health, wealth, prosperity, connections with people. They're gorgeous to use on the skin, to diffuse. They're great in food for culinary delights. So what is usually great in culinary delights is also great for digestion. Normally, that's a general rule of thumb. Yeah. So they help us to digest what can often feel overwhelming to us in life. Yeah. Then you have the barks, these beautiful barks come into our life with such a powerful gift. So where something like clove really helps us to come into a place of defining our boundaries, that's in the floral kingdom, the clove bud, and just, you know, helping us to address that in this really finite capacity, very well structured capacity. The barks help us to strip back a little. Yeah, just like they do on the tree. They're the armor of the tree, but they also release when their time has come. Yeah, they know when to let go. So they'll often ask us to just turn inward and search. Are we over armoring? Are we not allowing love in? Are we not allowing ourselves to deepen into that particular loving connection? Because we've been hurt and we're basing our current experience on past experiences. Yeah. They will allow us to open our heart to greater love. They have beautiful aphrodisiacal properties because they help with that blossoming heart center. They help to warm us from the inside out again, to reduce that frigidity. Equally, for those of you that feel like you're a bit of a doormat and that you give to everyone and maybe people feel that they can just kind of tread all over you, these beautiful barks will also come in nice and strong and say, how about we just create some healthy armoring around you? Just so you're not so depleted, just so you don't feel like you're a victim quite so much in life, and you just kind of stand sovereign again in your life and choose how you want to be in life. So it's a little bit on those 3 oils in the Earth Kingdom.
So now you know, if you know, and we know that doTERRA likes to bring out new oils from time to time and keep us on our toes. If an oil is gifted from the wood, the bark, or the root, it's going to have some of these energies of grounding, stability, resilience, boundaries, and support. Okay, let's move on to our next element, the element of water. What kind of words come to mind when you think of water? Will it be the ocean or the rain? Maybe water signs like Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancerians? Let us know in the chat what words kind of pop into your head. Flow, yeah, beautiful. Refreshing, cooling, cleansing. Yeah, I love them. I also want you to think about what happens when we've had a bit of a rough day and we go and have a nice warm shower. What's the impact of that? It helps us to feel better. And so the water realm is also very much associated with emotions. And when we think about if you know or if you are a Cancerian,
It's really good.
Pisces, oh, someone did we someone?
Are the supplements like vitamins?
I'm trying to mute, but I can't,
Pardon?
Adam. Sorry.
I got it. Sorry, I got it.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem. Thank you.
So basically, if we find anyone who's yeah, you know, the water is all about that emotional aspect as well. So what part of the plant or tree is associated with the element of water? Well, it's the flowers. If you think about it, what part of a plant do we give on Valentine's Day? You'd be a bit disappointed if you've got a bunch of leaves. So flowers all help us in the emotional realm in one way or another. If we think about the action of a flower, it's like the action of our heart. The action of a flower is to open, to blossom, and to bloom. And each of the oils gifted from flowers allow us to do that. Now, one other little chart that I've wanted to share with you that you also find on page 69 of our book is the Greeks and the Romans found that the color of a flower can be attributed to different astrological bodies in the sky. So, for example, white flowers have a strong connection to the moon, and the moon actually rules Monday. Red flowers, Mars and Tuesday, and so on. So again, you can bring in a bit of astrological energy in understanding the flowers. Now, Vanessa and I could talk about the flowers probably for about 3 hours, but we'd just love to know which ones you'd like to know a little bit more about. Maybe you've got an absolute favorite one, or maybe you've got one of these oils that's listed here in your box and it's just not getting much use. And maybe we can give you a few tips and maybe help you fall in love with it a little bit more. Blue tansy, awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about blue tansy. So blue tansy is gifted to us from actually a yellow flower. So, but when they distill it, we get the chamazoline forms in it, which is that royal blue color. Now, there's actually a story, a beautiful myth behind Tansy, and is based on a gorgeous young man by the name of Ganymede and the god Zeus. Now, what happened is Zeus became so fond of Ganymede that he ended up kind of falling for him and, wanted to hang out. And so he invited him up to Olympus and made Ganymede his cupbearer. Now, the cupbearer, basically the role of a cupbearer is to, whenever the gods are feasting, it's Ganymede's job to make sure that all the cups are full, especially Zeus's. And that's how he kind of could keep Ganymede around, because, of course, Zeus was married to Hera. Now, Hera started to get a little bit jealous of how much time Zeus would hang out with Ganymede and how much attention he was getting. And being Zeus's wife, she's like, right, I need to get rid of this little gorgeous young man who's getting all this attention. And Zeus got wind of this. And so what he did is he actually gave Ganymede a cup of tansy. And this made him immortal. Now, don't go drinking a blue tansy essential oil, by the way, it won't make you immortal. But how he was also preserved was he was placed in the cosmos as the star sign Aquarius. So I don't know if anyone here is an Aquarius. We'll probably have a few Aquarians on. Oh, as you can see, Sherilyn giving her hands. So you actually have blue tansy is an oil that is sacred to Aquarians because Ganymede is your constellation up in the sky. Now, if we think about that Aquarian energy, there's a bit of a saying that I love, that Aquarians have already worked out how to make the world perfect. They're just waiting for everyone else to realize they're right, kind of thing. So Aquarians have this great vision for utopian futures and their dreams and that type of. Blue tansy, the gift of blue tansy is your dreams. It allows you to kind of, being a yellow flower, it is associated with Mercury as well, to think, what could my life potentially be? Being a chamomile, it slows us down. It allows us to stop and go, what if I did what I really want to do? One thing I've found in my experience as a reader with a lot of my tarot readings and so on, is that what the cards show me, I can use the oils to back up and give me confirmation. And I find those that don't like tansy have neglected their dreams. I remember one person in particular who was very successful. She had a beautiful house on the coast, 2 children. She had a good income. He had a good income, but she hated tansy. And when we started kind of digging away at her life, she'd grown up in a high socioeconomic family. There's always this pressure to do well at school and then be successful. And, she had done that. But there were things that she wanted to do along the way, but they didn't quite fit with that kind of, rich dream. And so she neglected them and she had kind of buried them. And blue tansy was kind of inviting her to do that. So it's a beautiful oil that I just love to, it's great on the third eye chakra. And when you moisturize at night, put a drop in your hand, rub it over your face and really focus on that third eye chakra. Breathe it in and just allow yourself to relax and go, what must I do? There's a great book called Should versus Must. And, blue tansy really asks you, what must you do? What is your soul telling you that you must do, rather than just doing what everyone says you should be doing, kind of thing. So it's really nice in that way. I'll hand over to Vanessa to talk about a couple.
Yeah, I might talk on Rose right now. So I've been using her a lot right now. I feel like Rose is so underestimated. She's often thought about for maybe her skincare or, bringing beauty, or maybe for the heart chakra. But she's powerful. She's strong. You see her petals open wide and the winds come and the rain comes and they stay intact until she's ready to release. Yeah. So Rose takes us to this beautiful place of remembrance of our inner beauty, of our innate magnetism, our capacity for our heart, which works with so beautifully, to be that magnet for miracles that it was born to be. She's one that I love to use on my face, over the parts that make me woman. I love to place her on my heart center when I'm meditating. She's an essential oil that will open you in gratitude. She'll help you to bloom in the light of your grateful heart. So we have a beautiful blend here. Remember, I was talking about that we have like a paragraph on how the synergies work. Let me give you an explanation, a little demonstration of that. So our blend here, Grateful Heart, has rose, frankincense, green mandarin, and spikenard. Gratitude is the highest form of receivership. This blend will connect you with all that is wholesome in your life. Events and circumstances will bless you with their goodness as you deepen your understanding of being in a vibration of gratitude for all. With rose, releasing expectations. Frankincense unveils the divinity around you. Spikenard, the light within others. And green mandarin forgoes judgment. Open to love and all her gifts with this melody by anointing it over your heart at the start of each day or diffusing it to create an atmosphere of thankfulness and gratitude in your space. You know, gratitude is the highest form of receivership. We're born to love and to be loved. Our natural state is joy. Rose brings us home to all of that. We have creation stories, and Adam shared the Ganymede story with Blue Tansy, which is beautiful, yeah? Rose is a gorgeous story because often we have like one god or goddess, hero or heroine that's attributed to a particular, plant and the creation of that plant, but Rose has many. Rose has been blessed by the multitudes. Her creation was birthed out of a synergy of gods and goddesses coming together, blessing her with the sweetness of that nectar she has, her scent, with her beauty. Aphrodite herself blessed her with that beauty, yeah? So she brings us into a place of remembrance that we have everything we need within us. And because we are all one in this universe, we are constantly fueled by what's happening around us. My gift to you is love, she says. The three words that we attribute with Rose are desire, magnetism, and beauty. So imagine combining her with maybe one of those barks or both barks with cinnamon and cassia and rose and diffusing those to help de-armor yourself when you feel like you're not letting love in, but you're really yearning for more love in your life. The affirmation is, my heart is a magnet for love and miracles. So you can aromatically anchor your rose with a powerful affirmation like that, aromatically dress, or take your rose touch or the 5 mil if you have her, and anoint yourself over the places that you want and just be still with her. Feel her presence and let yourself come to a place where you can listen again to what she's wanting to teach you, impart to you, gift you in that particular moment. Yeah. Thanks, Adam.
I'll just touch a little bit on neroli very quickly. Neroli, being a white flowered oil, is associated with the moon and really great to work with around the full moon. Now, neroli has this strong energy of enticement, and nymphs used to use the scented neroli to seduce men and women out of their bedchambers at night of pleasure and ecstasy. Brides on their first night with their new husband would scatter neroli over the bed so that they could relax with their new partner. Ladies of the night would use it to seduce their clients, and Cleopatra even anointed her sails with neroli and jasmine oils when she sailed up the Nile to go and seduce Mark Antony. So there's real kind of beckoning energy of neroli. Now, it works really well with the sacral chakra. It can be used as an aphrodisiac, but with its lunar connection, it also can be used, and there have been clinical studies that shows that it helps you to step out of your comfort zone and to think outside the square. Now, think about what we do on the full moon. We sit outside and we basically go, universe, can I have more love? Can I have a new job? Can I have something in my life? So what we're asking is, we're asking the universe to change. But if we do what we've always done, we're going to get what we've always got. And neroli actually helps to lift your vibration so that you change to sync with your new reality. So it's a really beautiful one to harmonize with and to bring in whenever you're doing full moon work, where you want to bring a change into your life, whether it be full moon or at any time whatsoever. Okay, let's move on to the element of air. What words come to mind when you think of the element of air? This can be just a gentle breeze blowing, a big wind, breath, beautiful. Or think of those air signs. We've got those cool Aquariuses on today. We've got Geminis like me and the Librans. Freedom, fresh, yeah, beautiful, calming. Love it. So in the elemental realms, air is actually the opposite to water. So water, we feel better when we interact with water. But think about when you know, we're getting a bit of overload and we go outside and get fresh air. And what happens? Oh, I can now think clearer. So air is the realm that governs our thoughts, our intellect, our memory, our mind, our perspective. And as many of you mentioned, freedom. You can't capture air. It's pretty much, you know, it is that free one as well. But it can also help the mind to focus. So we actually found that you can divide the leaf oils into two halves. Any oil that comes from a small plant, so think about things like peppermint, rosemary, basil, and so on, they all help to narrow the mind in, to help you focus. So if you need to study, if you need to concentrate, if you're getting sleepy, you need clarity, these are really great. However, the big tree leaf oils, so those things like our eucalyptus, our cypress, our firs, our spruces, they actually help to open the mind. Like walking through a forest, everything becomes a little bit clearer and everything falls into place. And so whether you need to focus the mind or open the mind, you can definitely rely on the leaf oils. The leaves, of course, they are out there dancing in the air, so they are the obvious choice, and their energy is very much a kind of in line with the air element as well. So interestingly enough, most essential oils come from the leaf more than any other part of a plant. You can see that the list is quite extensive for the air oils. Which ones here have you got that you absolutely love, or which ones do you have and you're not using them at all and they're just collecting dust in your box? And which ones would you like to hear a little bit more about? Maybe Vanessa, I could help you fall in love with again, or fall in love a little bit deeper. Awesome. Okay, I might talk about lemongrass and Siberian fir. I'll take the first two, and then Vanessa, you've got to pick there. Okay, so actually, what I might slot in is I might actually slot in lemongrass and palmarosa. It comes up occasionally with doTERRA as well. So I want you to think of the shape of these grasses. They almost look like a blade or like a sword. So lemongrass and palmarosa I call my sword oils. Lemongrass is my sword of light, and palmarosa is my sword of love. So if we're looking at lemongrass for a second, with a sword of light, lemongrass is great for helping to bring clarity to the mind and focus. Lemongrass, we know, is great for cleaning, it's great for detoxing. So what it does is it helps to remove, on an emotional, on a mental, on a spiritual level, clear away clutter so that we know where to go. You can imagine if life was getting too chaotic and too fuzzy and I gave you this magical sword of light, you'd be able to cut through all the rubbish and get to where you need to go. It's really, really powerful in that way. It can be great in intuition blends to help to enhance that. It also works really well with the solar plexus chakra. And our solar plexus chakra is to do with personal power. And when it's balanced, we relate to people on an equal level. Lemongrass is really good for cutting away any of these power struggles where someone's especially trying to dominate anyone else, or, you know, like take up more time. It's really good for workaholics or perfectionists, because a lot of the time workaholics and perfectionists have to do it all themselves because no one else can do it. No one else can be trusted. So there's not that equality there. So it's a really nice one at forming that equality. Lemongrass is also really potent at helping to connect with our generations past. Below our feet, there are a couple of chakras. You may have heard of the Earth Star chakra that connects us to all consciousness on the planet. And then below that, there's the Incarnator chakra. And the Incarnator chakra is associated with understanding and feeling your connection to past generations, to your tribe, to your clan, to your heritage, and feeling that connection, that power, and pulling that wisdom through. And lemongrass can really help with that. So it really helps on so many levels at helping you get that clarity. Quickly, palmarosa as a sort of love, it helps with discernment in love. It helps you to decide, should I get into this relationship? Should I stay in this relationship? Should I get out of this relationship, love or otherwise? It also helps you fight for love. And when you've been heartbroken and feel like giving up on love or giving up on the world, that, oh, the world's going down the toilet, there's nothing I can do, palmarosa works really well at helping to reinstill the faith in that way. So they're your swords of love and light. Then we've got Siberian fir. So Siberian fir obviously spends a lot of time covered in snow. So snow has a big, I guess, influence over the energy of Siberian fir essential oil. So when we think of snow, you know, it falls in the winter. And what are some of the, what does snow do? What's the impact of it? Well, it kills off the old and the weak. It gets rid of what's not meant to be there anymore. It kind of, and it also allows us to stop and to become a bit more introspective. So Siberian fir is a great oil for cleansing, getting rid of things that don't serve us, allowing us to see what's old and weak and is not for the best of our survival going into the future as well. But in the spring, snow will melt. It will bring new life. It will bring fertility. It brings movement again. It brings action. And so Siberian fir has this energy that enables us to recognize what's no longer serving us, which needs to be let go and, you know, killed off or left in the past, but then to have this energy and this perspective of what you need to do to go forward and bring new life into your path and what you're focusing on as well. So a really good one at getting a clear perspective of this is no longer serving me and this is what I need to do instead. So hope that gives you a bit of an idea on those three. Vanessa.
Beautiful. Patchouli. Let's explore a bit of patchouli magic. Very magical essential oil, often attributed to kind of, you know, free-loving hippies in the 60s and 70s, used as perfumes and a natural deodorant. This essential oil is such a powerhouse for deodorizing not only the physical body, but just deodorizing what doesn't serve us, the negativity in life, the heavy, dank energies that we don't want in our life around us that deeply affect us. So you can use patchouli to go into deeper place of solitude and rest and silence. My gift to you is presence through solitude. She helps you to get into your body. Helps you to honor this body as the sacred temple it is, to feel your magic and majesty here on this earth plane. Because she's like, you know, it's all well and good hanging out there in the ethereal planes and weaving your spells and making your magic and calling in your manifestations, but we need it here on the earth. So she's like, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back to your body, honor your body, let your body be that vessel for that magic. And she's also really unafraid to explore what's hiding in the shadows. She's unafraid to explore what freaks you out. Maybe your own light and your majesty and your power freaks you out. She'll go there with you. She'll kind of hunker in there with you and say, let's explore this together. Let's take a look at what's really hiding in your shadows. And you're going to realize it's not that scary. It's really beautiful to behold, yeah? So we have a blend here for shadow self, patchouli, bergamot, black pepper, and juniper berry. And we're going to explore the fruit kingdom soon and that element. But I want to just give you an idea here in case we don't cover it there, because patchouli is such a beautiful ally to journey into the shadow with us. And I feel like all the shadow work people are doing, they're taking it so seriously and like they've got to spend years there. It's just the unwanted, unowned or disowned parts of ourselves. But they warrant meeting because they help you to remember who you are in your entirety, your wholeness, your holiness. They help you to be all that you are. So as you explore the shadow aspects of yourself, journey with the powerhouses that are comfortable in this realm of unknown and neglected aspects of self. Patchouli and black pepper bring you strength in solitude and self-discovery. As you uncover what lies within, bergamot shines the light to permeate the dark thoughts and harsh judgments. We judge ourselves so harshly. We're hurting ourselves more than anyone else out there can. You know, and they're saying, just let up a little. Juniper berry helps you to fiercely look at and acknowledge these facets of yourself. Diffuse, inhale deeply of this blend during your shadow work. And I would even say, you know, make a roller bottle for yourself and put some dark crystals in there like black onyx or black obsidian to help you absorb those negative energies. And, you know, for crystal magic, Adam Barralet right here with you now. He has an amazing YouTube channel and you can Google any of the crystals and any of the oils and they're all there, right? So this is why I wanted to bring patchouli to your awareness, because I feel like she's underused for the fullness of what she can bring. And then spearmint, and you know, there are so many oils there. I wanted to talk about Melissa and all of them. She's the oil of light and divination, and you can really get into your god or goddess self with Melissa. And she's a powerhouse for immune and, you know, all things. She's amazing. But where I want to go right now is spearmint. I love patchouli and spearmint together. I think they are like a bit of a match made on earth. And spearmint has this real sweetness to her. Spearmint helps us, like the patchouli, to enter the space of silence, to express our truth and to find our true expression in that place. Because spearmint's taking us into a place of deeper seeking. That's spearmint's gift. My gift to you, says spearmint, is deeper seeking. Let me go there with you. So when you combine them both together, you're going into all those places of yourself, and you're pulling out your gifts. You're pulling out your strengths. You're understanding yourself so much more. And, you know, talking about Melissa, if you were to combine Melissa with these two, you know, she helps to restore hope when you feel there is no hope. So you've got these two beautiful powerhouses combined with, you know, Melissa. She's angelic and she's strong, combined with these two oils of this earthly realm. So spearmint, the affirmation we've placed with spearmint is, I listen to the whispers of my soul. It's a beautiful aromatic anchor you can create with your spearmint. Spearmint can be used for day or night. It won't overstimulate you at night. It's very gentle. So again, patchouli, spearmint, and something like, you know, Roman chamomile or your blue tansy in the diffuser is a beautiful one for sleep. Yeah, gorgeous combination for sleep. If you want to go, just stick to the leaf kingdom, patchouli, spearmint, and marjoram. And very quickly, marjoram releases tension out of the body. She helps take you into that place where you're feeling deeply comforted. She brings you to a place of compassion, of understanding who you are, right? She's the tender one that helps you journey through times of grief. She'll help you to connect with someone through the gifts of touch, through massage, for instance, placing her in a carrier oil or putting her in Epsom salts and bathing. A safe one for children and bubbies, just to kind of, you know, reconnect, softness. A beautiful one combined with rose for deeper unions. Her gift to us is actually contented unions. So you can take her and place her to go so deeply into that place of mothering yourself. And if you combine her with something like tea tree, which has that nurturing mother aspect and also the lunar aspect to tea tree, you're coming into that really beautiful integrated sacred feminine that nurtures herself. She who knows that she can give all that she needs to herself. So it's a little bit on the leaves.
Awesome. And I just popped a little few notes on the other ones that we didn't get a chance to tackle. Otherwise, we would have been here for a few hours. Okay, let's go to the final element, the element of fire. What words come to mind when you think of the element of fire? Hot, yeah, beautiful. Hot. Steaming. Yeah, spicy. Nice. So some other words we use a lot in our book when we're talking about fire: transformation, passion, exuberance, courage, and action. You know, a lot of the time when we have fires, and I know, you know, in California and different parts of America, there are massive wildfires. And I remember going, you know, a lot of the time we focus on the devastation, and I definitely don't want to take away from what's lost in those. But I remember also when I was at Yosemite National Park, and I was there about 6 months after there'd been massive fires through there. And I said to the ranger who was doing a tour with us, I said, this is devastating. He said, no, you're thinking like a human, not like a forest. You see, in Yosemite National Park, for generations now, the pine trees have dominated the landscape. And their acidic pine needles, when they drop to the ground, would kill all other flora. And he said, now that the pine trees are gone, what you'll see over the next few years is a brand new forest emerging, and the forest will reinvent itself. So the element of fire is about change and transformation. It gets rid of what doesn't serve us and brings new life to us. So when it comes to change, we often, sometimes I get messages and emails going, Adam, what oils could I use to make my husband less this or to make my kids more of that? And I don't know how you're going at changing other people, but I'm not too good at it. And what I find is if you want real change in your life, it's about changing yourself. We've got to be the change we want to see in the world. And one really transformational way to bring personal transformation is through focusing on the chakras. These energy centers with the main 7 along our spine, they correspond with rainbow colors. The cool thing about fruit oils and fruits, which are associated with the element of fire, is they're bright colors and they connect perfectly. So the red ones go with the base chakra, the orange with the sacral, the yellow with the solar plexus, and so on. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some of my favorite citruses. And one thing that we're a big advocate for is not all citruses are the same. So that saying all citruses are the same is as dangerous as me saying all women are the same. And we know how much trouble that would get me into. So let me kind of demonstrate a little bit with 3 different oils. So even with some of the commonly known ones. So wild orange, first of all. Now that is definitely, it's really interesting how probably when you're introduced to doTERRA, one of the first oils that you smelt was probably wild orange. And I often love to watch people's faces when they smell wild orange for the first time. And I see this smile creep across their face. You see, wild orange helps with the sacral chakra, and the negative emotion with the sacral chakra is guilt. And it can be a real issue, especially with women, because, how dare you waste your time with the silly hippie stuff, your money, and doing all these different things when you should be at home caring for your kids or your partner or your family. And what wild orange does is it helps us to work through that guilt and come back to our sense of joy. What truly makes you happy? And I'd really encourage you over the next few days to sit with wild orange and ask yourself that question, what makes me happy? Now, we know that a coffee in the morning or a bit of chocolate at night might give us happiness for a few minutes, but I'm asking about what really sustains you. And I'm going to put some conditions on that. It can't be based on another person or another event, because, people often tell me, oh, my family makes me happy. But we all know that our family can, get under our skin sometimes and bug us. So if your family's in a bad mood, you can't be happy. What beyond that? What could you, doesn't matter what's happening with the weather, what's happening with other people, you could sit by yourself and find that happiness. And wild orange helps you to do that. So it's really about finding and discovering your joy. And that's its gift. Then you've got these mandarin oils. Now, we're so blessed in doTERRA that we get green mandarin all the time, and then we've got the yellow and the red. They have the most playful energy of all the citrus oils. The citrus oils are all very uplifting, but there's play that comes in with the mandarins. Now, we've got the green from the unripe fruit, the yellow from the semi, and the red from the fully ripe fruit. And these are actually sometimes paralleled with the aspects of the moon, the new moon, the full moon, and the dark moon, but also the aspects of life, especially a woman's life with that lunar cycle. So you've got the maiden, the young girl, that fruit, it's unripe. What will it become? What will it grow to? And it helps to bring in that playful, joyous energy, like children have. That the world is my oyster. The world is full of so much potential. The world's full of wonder, and also gets rid of from the heart chakra any form of discrimination. Children don't care what color you are, or what religion you are, or who you vote for, or what's in your bank account. If you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you and they'll play with you. And green mandarin takes us back to that. Yellow mandarin is a semi-ripe fruit. It's halfway through its kind of growth. It's like many of us. It's the adult. And I don't know, is there anyone here who sometimes finds themselves, gets caught up in the seriousness of adulting? Like, leave me alone. I've got serious adult work to do. And it becomes really quite overwhelming, and we lose perspective. And yellow mandarin, it's great to drop in to go, what are you doing? Let's be a bit more playful. Let's enjoy that. It's also a great one when you're halfway through a project and your interest starts to wane, or your enthusiasm or your motivation or your discipline starts to wane. It helps us to remember the joy of what inspired us to start this and to resurrect that joy. Then we come around to red mandarin. Red mandarin is like that elderly lady. And do you notice how when people get, 60s, 70s, 80s, they get a lot more carefree again, but they've got that wisdom? They know that it doesn't really matter and that you don't need to stress about it. They've been through 15 world wars, 18 husbands, and 19 pandemics. They're fine. You know, they were, she'll be right. And Red Mandarin really brings that in. So then the final oil I want to talk about is clementine, which I know you have the opportunity to get for the next 3 days as your product of the month with your loyalty rewards order. Clementines are a cross. How you create a clementine is crossing an orange with a mandarin. So what would happen if we've got this, what makes me happy, and this playful energy, this almost childlike energy in the now. Clementine, if it had one phrase, it would be carpe diem. Seize the day, enjoy the moment, have fun now, jump into that joy in that type of way. Clementine is the best one for allowing you to find joy in every moment. And another meditation I love to guide people through, that you can try it after this call. When I was at the School of Philosophy in New York, they got us to sit there for about 15 minutes and said, how are you feeling right now? And they'd say, without thinking about the past and without thinking about the future, right now. What's said right now? And you go, oh, I'm feeling a bit upset. And you kind of go, well, why are you feeling upset? Well, because, I had a bit of an altercation on the train on the way there or something like that. No, that's in the past. So let go of the past. That was then. Oh, no, I'm worried about, what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. No, that's in the future. Right now. If you forget about the past and the past and the future, how are you? And what you normally find is there's joy there. You're actually quite happy. The soul is a happy thing. And clementine will help take you back to that point. So do you see how each of the citruses in different ways, bergamot is great for self-worth, and tangerine is a Sagittarian oil. It's really great for the adventurous and curious and so on. So you can jump between all the citruses, and they're very, very different in different ways. And that's why I believe I love them all. And there's still other citrus oils that we don't have in the doTERRA collection. So keep them coming, doTERRA. Vanessa.
You can tell we're a little bit essential oil crazy, us too, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we have some berries within the fire element as well, which I touched on earlier. We have juniper berry, we have black pepper, we have pink pepper, we have litsea. We have these beautiful berries that bear the fruits of finding our light by going into the darker places of ourselves. Litsea does that through laughter. Laughter helps us to overcome everything, all adversity, all negativity. It just bounces off. Laughter. Juniper berry is that fearlessly journeying into the abyss or the void, the parts where we haven't wanted to explore, but unconsciously or at a soul level, we're wanting to go there because we know that once we go there and meet it, we're safe. We're actually going to find something pretty yummy there. So juniper berry brings this really potent energy of protection, like rosemary, yeah? So she has this real protective energy around it. So in times of old, a couple of things were done with the actual juniper berry branches and with the berries on them. One was it was used to kind of, smolder so that the smoke of the sacred juniper berry could cleanse and clear the space, purify the space, afford protection. And the other way was to dip it in holy water. And we can dip it in moon water, water that we've made holy with our prayers, yeah? And then just kind of, like this over your space, over your altar, anointing the space with your intentions and with the protection that this tree affords it with. Juniper berry is about discovery of self, plunging into the self to know thyself more deeply. Do you remember Adam mentioned earlier with the blue tansy, you can anoint your third eye chakra. You can also do that with the juniper berry. You may want to make a blend of the two of them. You could add some clary sage for even more deeper and clearer vision there. Yeah. And something illuminating, like some lemon oil in there. Even though lemon is usually attributed to the solar plexus chakra, this is a great one, or Melissa, for just bringing that light, like reminding us of our brilliance. Lemon is about our brilliance, our innate brilliance. So just opening ourselves and connecting our whole self with the light of that. The the pink pepper is around true love. Pink pepper has this really beautiful gift that she pours into us to remind us, just like Rose does, connect with your heart. Love is all there is. Anything that doesn't come from love comes from fear. So what are you choosing? Are you choosing love or are you choosing fear? Right now, a lot of the collective is immersed in fear. And the way showers of the world are doing their best on their socials and in group platforms and one-on-ones and in family time to be the light in the world, to remind them that love is the way. So pink pepper helps us to manifest with love, helps us to be more discerning in love and discerning into what we do and don't allow in our sphere. Maybe she'll whisper to you, get off your socials and just go put your feet on Mama Gaia. You know, pull that drum out that's collecting dust and give it a little beat and let yourself dance again. You know, she's the one that will help you see clarity in your life through love. And she'll fuel you with that boldness to proclaim who you are in that space of love, which I really love about her, yeah? So we have the higher heart chakra, also known as the thymus heart, and then the lower heart, to call it that. So just if you follow that place between your breasts, then you come up into that space, like 1, 2. So you could create a blend, and by all means, add rose to this. Add some of your other beautiful oils that you feel open your heart. Maybe that's neroli, maybe it's marjoram for you. It doesn't matter, feel into what it is for you, or simply ask the plant kingdom, what do I need right now to open my heart and open myself and my world to more love? You might be really pleasantly surprised by what's whispered into the ear of your heart, yeah? And then you make a little blend and pop it in a roller bottle and anoint yourself daily on those places that need to open into love more, yeah? Thanks, Adam.
Okay, so we've taken you on a journey through the 4 elements, but I'm not sure if you noticed, but we've actually missed 2 parts of plants that gift us essential oils. Who can work out what we've missed? What are other parts of a plant or tree that gift us an essential oil that we haven't talked about yet? Think through your oils.
Think through some of the favorites. Yes, the sap.
Yeah,
well
the
done,
sap or the
Denise.
resin, that's one of them. Perfect,
Yeah.
Bernice. And what's the other one? Maybe think celery, cardamom,
Fennel.
coriander, fennel,
Coriander.
cumin, dill, and
Seeds,
seeds.
that's
yes,
right.
Exactly. So there are other aspects of oils, and they belong to what's known as the 5th element. This is known as akasha or ether or sometimes spirit. Now, whereas with the other 4 elements, we can see them playing out before our very eyes. We can see water, we can see fire, we can see the influence of the air blowing around and that kind of thing. Akasha is a little bit different. It's a spirit within. So it's kind of, we know that we have a soul of some form, but we don't know where in our body it is. It's just there. And it's almost like, how does a seed know that needs to germinate and grow towards the sky, come out of the soil? That's the akasha of everything. It's the soul and the spirit that goes behind that. So any oil that is gifted to us from the plants, seeds, or from the resin deep within is really good at helping to connect with that akashic energy. Some of the key words that we use for this are core, spirit, truth, inner wisdom. And one of my favorites, especially when talking about the seeds, is potentiality. So let me take on a bit of a crash course through the different seeds. Each seed oil can be used to awaken a latent potentiality that exists. So fennel. Fennel is amazing for cramping, great for digestive cramping, great for menstrual cramping. Think about when in life we're doubled over in pain and we're feeling cramped. It's normally because we're feeling disempowered. Oh, the situation is unbearable. I can't handle it. What fennel awakens in us is the power of choice. You see, you and I can both go see a movie and we can walk out of it and I'm like, that movie was amazing. And you're like, that was rubbish. And so was the movie good or was it bad? It was just a movie and we decide. And life and circumstances are exactly the same. Fennel helps us to find it. Works really well in the third eye chakra. It opens it to allow us to find different ways of looking at life that brings us back to feeling more empowered. You've got coriander seed. Coriander seed is amazing for healers and, a lot of people that are very giving. And the coriander seed is all about integrity, making sure that your thoughts, your words, and your actions align, and that you give your best to the world. But more importantly, coriander seed births your ability to give your best to yourself. A lot of people have their metaphoric glass of water, and they go around each day to make sure everyone's had a drink. And at the end of the day, your cup's empty. And you're resentful, you're tired, and you're like, this is not fair. And to be able to give our best, we need to be at our best. And coriander seed brings you back to that. Cardamom, very fiery, helps with circulating breath, circulating digestion, circulating blood around our body. If you think about anger and passion, both very fiery, anger doesn't have an outlet, passion does. It flows more freely. So cardamom takes our anger and helps us find ways to use that fiery energy in that way. You've got cumin that we get occasionally from doTERRA. Cumin is really good for courage and confidence. Dill awakens our ingenuity and our intelligence and our ability to find the solutions we need in life. You've got celery seed, one of our newer oils, helps you unlock your own magic. It has a strong connection to the water and to the oceans, and it's really good for when you're comparing yourself to someone else. Because when you're looking at someone else, you're going, I'm not as good as them. That's because you don't have their magic. You've got your own brand of magic as well. The final two seed oils that I really love are vanilla, that we find in oils such as Whisper and Citrus Bliss, which is all about pleasure. And, I want you to think about your relationship with pleasure. A lot of the time in how this world works is we feel I have to work and I have to earn pleasure. Like I've been good, I've worked hard this week so I can have a treat. But if we think about the creator that created this whole planet, this whole world for us, with all these delights for the senses, if I gave you a gift, I'd be upset if you didn't use it. And so when we are delighting in the beautiful sights and smells and tastes and sounds and everything of this planet, when we're nourishing ourselves in them, and with the new moon being in Taurus, this is an ideal time to really come back to this as well, then vanilla helps us to do that. That's our respect we can show to the creator, to dive into that smorgasbord of sensual delights. Now, cacao. We find cacao in Whisper the Women's Blend and in Amavi the Men's Blend, and I love that it's in both. The gift that we share in our book of cacao is sumptuousness. Now, it's not about reckless luxury, but it's about luxuriating and really getting in and enjoying life and having abundance. Cacao has been used in the past for things like finances, and they actually would exchange it. So cacao actually helps both men and women realize that they deserve a sumptuous life. So each of these seed oils, they're great to pop a drop in any blend to help bring something out within yourself. So I'll hand over to Vanessa to talk a little bit about the resins.
Thank you. Yeah, this is such a beautiful element to dive into. It's the realm of spirit. It's the realm that we know so deeply in our core and helps us to understand the core of who we are. It's the realm that helps us to reach deeply into this place, to connect with it, because we live life day by day, rushing, being busy, go, 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 rather than coming into a place of stillness and really taking in what's going on for us. So like Adam gave the example earlier, Carpe Diem, seize the day with kumquat and come into how you're feeling right now in the present moment. The resins help us to come into who are you right here, right now? Who are you? Who have you become? Who are you choosing to become? What are you calling forth into your life as you work with the pure potentiality of the seeds and then the essence of the resins going deep into this who am I-ness? Yeah. So the resins, for us to receive the gift of the resins and the essential oil that comes from those resins, the tree is wounded. So in the case of Copaiba and the great maple trees, they're tapped so that the essence flows forward, flows forth from the tree, from the core of the tree. For the myrrh and the frankincense, an incision is made, and then the essence of the tree, the blood, the tears, rises to that wound, to heal it, to bring it healing. And it brings us back to blood of my blood, tears of my tears, bone of my bones. This is the essence, the core, okay? So when we go into story around victimhood and our pain and feeling like we wish we had more resilience, more strength, more endurance, just for ourselves, not to complete anything, but for ourselves. The resins are the ones we can turn to. They understand resilience. They understand what it is to grow in the most arid and difficult lands. You know, look at where frankincense and myrrh grow. You know, they overcome so many challenges to grow there. So turn to them when you want to overcome or support, you want support in overcoming adversity. Yeah. Myrrh, just to focus on her for a moment, her gift to us is restoration. So she's bringing us into the divine feminine, where frankincense into the divine masculine. He reminds us of our magnificence. And she takes us to a place with being the crone mama, like the red mandarin and like magnolia, being the crone mama of this particular realm. She's like, come into a place of acceptance of who you are. Feel who you are. She is beautiful for sacred womb work, ladies, reconnecting with your womb, with the place of creation, whether you've literally birthed or not. And I love combining her with Rose as well, sometimes for this. Going into places of regret, of grief, myrrh takes you there. And we talked a fair bit about the shadow aspect, you know, when I was talking about the berries and even patchouli. So this is another really beautiful one that you can work on to really help you find the essence of who you are as you go there. I think a lot of us are faced with some really big questions right now in the world as to what we're going to do, what we're saying yes to, what we're saying no to, switching off from our socials and the addiction of the scroll, you know, and where that takes us, and sitting with ourselves, the presence of ourselves. And myrrh will accompany you down that route. So I'd love to end saying that there was no questions. We will give links in a minute, but where I'd love to end if there are no questions is this. Do you want to just stop taking notes and let's get out of our heads for a moment and all this cerebral yumminess, and let's just do a little mini connection with myrrh. It doesn't matter if you don't have her with you, just summon her to you. And this is one of the little practices we have in our book. So just close your eyes for a moment and just take a deep breath and feel your belly rise and your ribcage open and expand with the life force. Pause at the end of the in-breath. And then when you're ready, very gently and very slowly expel the breath. Just exhale with a little sigh. And just feeling the presence of myrrh around you now, just calling her to you, her beautiful, rich scent. Myrrh comes in and places the cloak of wisdom upon your shoulders, reminding you that you have everything you need within. Feel that now, connect with that. And now just take your hand and place it over your belly and connect with your sacred womb space. You may want to just kind of turn your hand over your belly, like as though there were a baby in there. Just connect with that sacred womb space. Take a deep breath, feeling myrrh coming to you, just smelling her even though she's not there. Attuning to the energy of Divine Mother. Myrrh creates a space to dissolve judgments around woman in all her archetypes. Allow yourself to come back, when you come back in a moment, to a peaceful place, a place where all aspects of the feminine, of your womanhood, the sacred feminine, are loved by you. It's just a choice. So say yes. And breathe that up into your heart. Give thanks in the way that you do for this Holy of Holies. To you for turning up today. To you for aligning with these beautiful gifts from Mama Gaia. And to you who dance with Mama Gaia every day. The sacrifice has been made. They are now essential oils she's given to us, her children. And now dance with them, weave magic with them, and use them wisely in your life. Let yourself be the vessel of light and joy and love, exuberance and majesty and magnificence and magic that you were born to be. Say yes to life and living again. Take a deep breath with thanks in the way that you do now. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Beautiful. Welcome back, everyone.
So before we let you out on the world again, we wanted to share a couple of final little bits of details with you. Vanessa and I are really passionate about enabling and helping people to keep on uncovering more and more about these oils and deepen their relationship with each one, which all of them have a different magic to give. So Vanessa, where can people find out more about you?
So my main playground is Instagram, and my handle is @foodalchemy. And you'll see there the link in my bio is this link tree that Adam has there, and that'll basically take you to like a landing page on my website with all of my upcoming events that I have. I have a beautiful one for all of you. If you are really interested in the emotions and the essential oils for children, which of course will cater for us as well. I have my beautiful friend Amanda Porter coming on as a guest speaker for this month's Gaia's Gifts. I think you would all know Amanda Porter, yeah? She is the author behind, the genius behind the Emotions and Essential Oils book that so many of us have used for so long. So she's going to jump on with me, and we're going to talk all things emotions for children and helping to journey that. So the link in my bio has all sorts of online as well as in-person events. I have a YouTube channel, which is Paul and Vanessa Jean. My husband and I share this business together. And what else? Yeah, that's kind of the main thing. It's all there in the link anyway, but come see me and follow me on Insta and feel free to connect with me there. I'd love to have you there in that space with me.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Linktree, basically what it is you click on those two different links, that it brings up like a menu. You can see all the different things and choose what you want. I saw the question about podcasts. Yes, I have a weekly podcast called The Blessed Journey. It comes out each weekend. This coming weekend, it's all about diving deeper into the flowers. And one of the flowers that I'm spending a lot of time with is Blue Lotus, because hopefully many of you had a chance to grab that when it was available. And I find that there's just not enough knowledge about there. So I really kind of dive deep into that one. So you can check that out. One thing I'm really passionate about is I find when we get into the oils, we love them so much, we kind of jump from one to the next, and we kind of go from this one to that one to that one. It's almost like we're speed dating them. And we're like, I can't remember what it's good for, what it does, or if I like it, or what does that one smell like? So what I teach and how I approach many things is with a bit of oil monogamy. That let's just focus on one oil, just even one oil a week, and get to know it a little bit more intimately. And then when we have a need for it, we know how it serves us in that way. So on my link tree, you'll see where you can subscribe to my free newsletter. And each week we just focus on one oil as well as one crystal and what's happening in the skies, whether it be a retrograde or a full moon, and how you can use your oils in that way as well. I also have an online academy, and for $3 a week, I think it is, I explore over 100 oils, just one a week. We go into the chakras, the astrology, why we love or don't love that oil. Why does that oil keep on drawing me towards it? What activities can I do? And that's going to be based on my Oracle deck that will also be available in September this year as well, called The Magic of Essential Oils. So check them out. Of course, as we said, our book is available for, I think, everyone listening, at least that we know with us on Zoom right now, is in the USA. So if you type in that address, bit.ly giftsbook USA, that takes you to Oil Life, which is our supplier in the United States. Now, Eliza tells me that it is a bit expensive, the shipping from Oil Life to Hawaii, but we've got that 20% off discount. So we hope that kind of evens it out a little bit, makes it worth your while. So if you'd like to get a copy, we'd be really grateful for that as well. So any final questions before we wrap it up? Oh, thank you so much for ordering our book. Yeah, Carolyn, just jump on that Linktree link of Vanessa's and you'll see her Gifts of Gaia's link and all that type of thing as well. So I hope that we've really helped you to not just fall in love with your oils today, but also fall a little bit more in love with nature. No, I was actually watching a really great lesson yesterday from doTERRA Philippines on women's hormones, because it's not something I'm well versed in. And there are 17,500 plants around the world that give off a smell. Of them, only 2,000 of those plants give us oils, and in total it's up to 3,000 oils, because obviously some plants give more than one oil, like the cilantro, coriander, and neroli petitgrain kind of combinations. So I was thinking, isn't nature amazing? And then I also started to get worried because I love essential oils and I don't have 3,000 essential oils, so I think I need to get a bigger box. But I hope that you get to kind of realize the magic of nature as well, and dive in and fall a little bit more in love with the environment right outside your window, and the fact that you have those beautiful Hawaiian sandalwood trees. I wish I could have remembered their native name, but hey, and we've got our beautiful tea tree and eucalyptus and lemon myrtle here as well. So I hope that it's helped you not just fall in love with the oils, but fall in love with nature as well. We hope to see you, online in various platforms, wherever you like to dance with us. And I don't think we'll be on airplanes to the United States this year, but possibly next year. That would be absolutely amazing. We'd love to see you maybe at convention next year. We'll be there for sure. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Blessed be.
Oh my goodness.
Mahalo.
Thank you so much for spending time with us and just sharing such a deeper connection with the oils. We really, really appreciate it so much. And one more time, and I actually spelt it incorrectly the first time in the chat, and Chanel corrected me, but it's iliahi is the Hawaiian word for sandalwood, sir.
Iliahi.
So,
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But thank you guys again so much. We're so grateful. Everybody connect, and we will be in touch again. Thank you. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Okay. Good night.
Take care.
As usual,
Good night.
everybody. If you guys don't mind staying on, we always